Then he opened his eyes and he said, "Yes, we will do it because it is the right thing to do." We held that conference, and on the evening before the conference, there was a joint editorial, a joint op-ed that appeared in the Wall Street Journal worldwide on the day of the conference, co-authored by President Waheed and by Rabbi Israel Lau, a survivor of the Holocaust as a child. He lost his mother, he lost his father, he lost everyone. And I should actually just mention in this context that there was a Holocaust survivor who came to that conference. And we had 20 Nahdlatul Ulama Kiais from Central Java. We had 20 young Hindu students. And this Holocaust survivor asked a simple question. He said, "There's a lot of Holocaust denial going on, but I just have one question. If there was no Holocaust, where are my parents? Where are my aunts and uncles? Where are my grandparents? Where are my brothers and sisters? I lost them all, and I was the only one left." He had the people in that room in tears, including the Nahdlatul Ulama Kiais, and the impact of this was obviously significant. Now, this is what Nahdlatul Ulama is like. Kai Haji Abdurrahman Waheed, Kai Haji Yahya Stakov, people here often speak of him as a second coming of Gustur. We refer to Kai Haji Abdurrahman Waheed as Gustur. And we love Gustur very, very deeply. There are people in the audience here who knew Gustur, such as Bob Hefner from Boston University, such as Reverend Miyake. He was a gentleman who touched so many human beings and so many lives. And he lived his life by example. He was famous. When I was speaking to the Wall Street Journal, actually, I introduced him to the editor of the Wall Street Journal op-ed pages the day before this op-ed ran. And President Waheed said to the gentleman, because the gentleman had told me already that he didn't want anyone writing for the Wall Street Journal op-ed pages anywhere in the world more than he wanted President Waheed. And I was speaking to them. He was in New York, and it was about 30 minutes before the paper went to bed. And President Waheed said, do you think I was clear enough? Think it was strong enough? And then he got off the phone, President Waheed, and the editor of the Wall Street Journal says, "He's not wanting to change the copy at the last minute, is he?" And I said, no, I think he's just telling you he stands behind what he's written. Then we hung up the phone, and President Waheed said to me, "You know, Holland, tomorrow there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be very angry at us." And it's true. I never knew anything about Judaism until this conference, until I became friends with Rabbi Cooper. Because I was raised a Christian, I became a Muslim. I feel affinity with many world religions, but I knew virtually nothing about Judaism. But after that event, there were many people who were convinced that I was Jewish because I had helped facilitate that event. But President Waheed was known for saying, one of his sayings, "Selalu jujur dan terbuka, tak perlu takut," which means we should always be open and honest. There's no need to be afraid. Before he died, I spoke to President Waheed, and we had published a book, and the book was called The Illusion of Islamic State, and it had a tremendous impact in Indonesia, tremendous. President Waheed was the editor. Buya Shafi Marif of the Muhammadiyah wrote a preface. Kai Haji Mustafa Bisri wrote the epilogue, and it was just laying out many of these issues that have been discussed here today. And this was possible in 2014. This is 2009, 5 years before the Islamic State conquered Mosul. The Nahdlatul Ulama had already written a theological refutation of the ideology of the Islamic State. And when we were talking about publishing this book, there were many people who knew what kind of upheaval it would cause in Indonesia. And I said to President Waheed, there's some people saying maybe we shouldn't publish the book, it would cause a lot of trouble. Should we do so? And President Waheed said to me, I already decided that time, he said, 40 years ago, I already decided, should we speak up? And he shouted, yes. And what he was referring to were events that occurred in Indonesia in 1965 and 1966 that Nahdlatul Ulama was involved with and this young adults movement were involved with. And I'm saying this right now because it takes courage to speak up. It takes courage in order to act. President Wahid was full of courage. Haji Yahya Stakuf is full of courage. People who are on this panel with me this morning are full of courage. And it takes courage in order to address the realities that confront all of us and the challenges that confront us in our day-to-day lives as individuals. But it also takes courage in terms of religion to look at what are the consequences of doing nothing and what are the consequences of acting. Because religious leaders are faced not only with issues involved in our own religious traditions, but also involved with engaging with the larger structure of society. And one thing I've always admired about Nahdlatul Ulama is the spiritual leadership of NU's willingness to act on the basis of conscience and act on the basis of principle. I believe this is deeply rooted in the soil of Indonesia, and so I'm extremely pleased and full of admiration that President Joko Widodo, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, the Indonesian society has chosen to move forward to introduce religion for the first time at the center of discourse and decision-making within the G20, which affects so many lives worldwide. And one thing I would just say in terms of the criteria we were using in thinking about who to invite to this event is people whose courage we either knew or anticipated would be there. There's any number of people we might have invited, obviously, but as Imam Yahya Pallavicini of Italy said when he looked at the invitation list, he said, I'm really excited about this event because there's not a lot of people I know. I'm going to be meeting a lot of new people. It's like a new network. But it's really, in some ways, it's a network that never existed before because there are parts of some of you that know us very well. There's other people we don't know. But I just want to say that we appreciate your traveling all this way. The Center for Shared Civilizational Values invites you to work together in future years in bringing forward the message of the R20. Swami Mitrananda, whom I just met recently, as we had a bilateral with Sheikh Yahya Stakuf, said this needs to become a movement. I trust that it will become a movement. Then I will just, seeing my friend Abdul Wahab here, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Isa left earlier this morning to fly back to Riyadh, Makkah. Sheikh Yahya and I went to the airport to say goodbye. We appreciate our friends from the Muslim World League. We appreciate doing this together. But equally, we appreciate each and every one of you. If there's been any shortcoming, we apologize sincerely, and we hope to see you again. You sooner than I thought. I'm going to be introducing our next speaker. And this is another example of how fate can bring people together. Our next speaker is Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi. When Pat Yahya and I first met Ramji, he was the General Secretary of BJP, a political party in India. And he is currently, actually, this is an interesting question, he is a man of many talents. The easiest thing for me to say is that he's a founding director of the India Foundation, a think tank in India that's very influential. He also comes, and any of you who've been reading the media, Ram Madhav belongs to the RSS. The RSS was founded in 1925. The Nahdlatul was founded in 1926. It was founded in a context both after the fall of the Islamic Caliphate with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the context of the British colonialism of the time. The RSS is an extremely influential organization in India. We are convinced, just as Nahdlatul Ulama feels responsible for protecting religious minorities in this country, and ultimately we believe the fate of religious minorities in Europe, for example, of Muslims, will depend on indigenous Europeans. The fate of any minority depends on their relationship with a majority. And there's We have faced, and I'll just be my usual, practice the usual diplomacy of complete honesty. We faced a lot of criticism for having various relationships, but we feel it is absolutely essential to engage people from across the religious spectrum, across the political spectrum. There's tremendous gridlock in the world, and I will say that I have developed enormous respect for Sri Ram Madhav. This is a man who has a vision, and we believe that his vision is deeply spiritual. And we have met the Hindu monks that he has brought from India. We have met with them personally. We have seen the depths of their spirituality. So I would just like to say in this context that we have the greatest respect for you, Ramji. We have the greatest respect for your tradition. And please join us here on the stage to share your concluding remarks for this conference.
Thank you. Please welcome Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi, founding member of the Governing Council, India Foundation, with the R20, a civilizational partnership between Indonesia and India.
Namaskar. Good evening. What a wonderful 2 days of brainstorming here over human values. I do not know if Pak Yahya and his team realize that what kind of a tectonic force they have unleashed here. I am reminded of a story that John Foster Wallace, the famed American novelist, narrated to students in a college in Ohio. 2 fish, young fish, were swimming along a river. In the opposite direction was coming an older fish. They bumped into each other. The old fish asked the younger ones, "Hey guys, how is the water?" They continued to swim along. After some time, one of the young fish asked the other, "Hey, what hell is this water?" There's a deep meaning. You live in a country which is kind of a heaven for harmony. Indonesia, Bali, they are examples of harmonious coexistence of different faiths, different religions. Maybe this beauty in which you have been living for many decades and centuries would not give you the real effect that this initiative is going to have on the rest of the world. I wholeheartedly compliment you for taking up this great initiative as part of the G20. What is R20? Is it another interfaith talk shop where each one of us come, sing peons about our religion, pay customary courtesies to other religions, and go back convinced that we are the best? I think R20 is or should have a much bigger vision and objective. As an extension, as a sideline event of the G20, R20 must be seized of the situation that humanity is facing. In that sense, it's not just a religion-centric event, it is a humanity-centric event. Today, mankind is facing myriads of problems. Some are traditional problems, we all know about them. We know about the traditional challenges of disharmony, inter-religious disharmony. We know about wars. We know about terror. These are conventional challenges that the humanity faces. We know about hunger. We know about poverty. But remember, as some of the speakers have mentioned in the last 2 days, the world is facing certain non-conventional challenges also today. For example, we talked about, that Enlightenment thinker Spinoza called nature as God. He said nature is God. Worship of nature is the religion. There was the discussion earlier in the previous session. Nature, which is God, is in danger today. Climate issues, climate change is a challenge that humanity is facing. So is the body, human body, which the great Indian poet Kalidasa said that human body is the first step to enlightenment. Sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. The body is in danger. You do not know what virus comes from where, when, and how. And we are entering an era of artificial intelligence, era of new technologies. You know, this artificial intelligence is already making machines which are more intelligent than human beings, you and me. Hitherto, we believed that we are the most intelligent beings of the creation, of the God's Leela. But you have machines which are more intelligent than us. Google has recently developed a chess game by name Alpha Zero. There is no chess player in the world, including Gary Kasparov or Vishwanathan Anand from India, who can stand up to that Google's chess game for more than 2 minutes. That is the level of intelligence of that chess game, that machine. More intelligent machines are coming. Now, the discussion in the psychiatry circles is that today machines have their own mind. Will they also have their own consciousness? Will machines start crying? Will machines start responding to situations? It may sound absurd to us today, but please don't rule out the possibility of humans, the ability of humans to create demons. We are entering into that kind of an era. Friends, the human progress has always involved major challenges like this. It's not the first time that humanity is facing these challenges. But there is an important distinction. The distinction is, in the past, when such challenges faced humanity, or humanity faced such challenges, there were philosophers, there were religious, spiritual leaders who could stand up and guide the mankind in the right direction. Today, we are busy quarreling amongst ourselves. The result is, there are no philosophers today. There is no Plato today. There is no Aristotle today. The religions are quarreling. And the politician, the technocrat, the economist is the new pope of the world. Power, economy, new demigods. We should be today pondering over this big challenge, and R20 should fulfill that big gap that humanity faces. We need philosophers today who have all the wisdom of all the religions. It's the cumulative wisdom of all religions that the R20 should represent, and this, together with leaders of G20, should guide the mankind. Friends, as we come to the end of this wonderful two-day brainstorming, as a representative of India, we will be firstly very grateful to the government of Indonesia, led by the great president of this country, President Joko Widodo, and also the two big organizations, two organizations from the two corners of the Muslim world. From Indonesia, led by Pak Yahya, the Nadwatul Ulema, and from Saudi Arabia, led by another big organization, the Muslim World League. You have created history here in Bali. We are grateful to you for this big start. And this will go to India. Just as Indonesia is a microcosm of the world with beautiful plurality and coexistence, India is also a mosaic of religions and the mothership of spirituality. India is that country where all the world's religions exist, far from persecution. All the persecuted came to India, continue to come and take shelter in India. We have 180 million Muslims in India, 25 million Christians, and the projections go that by 2030, India's Muslim population will be equal to that of Indonesia, and mind you, 2050, we will be the world's largest Muslim populated country with 310 million Muslims in India. We had Muslims as presidents, vice presidents, chief justices of our courts. India is that country where absolute respect for all diversities is not only preached but also practiced and implemented to this day. So friends, as we accept the mantle for organizing the R20 next year, I would like to just conclude by making one humble submission about the Hindu philosophy, which Swami Mitranandaji also very beautifully presented to you. We have, in the last 2 days, talked so much about one God. We all religions must remember that God is one. We in Hinduism have gone just one step forward, not just about one God, but about only God. Whatever is there is God. The whole creation is divine. Welcome to that country which believes that everything is divine. Every path is divine. You are divine, I am divine, animate, inanimate, everything is divine. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. And that country which not just tolerates, tolerance is arrogance, not just tolerates, Not even just respects. Respect is patronizing. It not just tolerates, not just respects, but celebrates the diversity of humanity. We are the people who celebrate this diversity. Come and join us in that celebration next year in India.
Extend these following important announcements in light of our agenda. G20 Religion Forum, R20 Summit, which will be held in Yogyakarta, Indonesia on November the 4th up to 6, 2022. This announcement is addressed to a list of participants who have already registered to join Yogyakarta Summit. The first one, for this purpose, we have chartered special flight from Ngurah Rai International Airport to Yogyakarta that will be departed at 9:30 a.m. Bali time. The second, please drop your luggage in the main lobby or concierge of the Grand Hyatt Hotel between 6 and 6:30 Bali time to be collected by the organizing committee. And the third, breakfast will be served at the Garden Cafe from 6 to 7:30 Bali time a.m. We provide a shuttle bus from Grand Hyatt Hotel to Ngurah Rai Airport, and our meeting point will be at the lobby Karangasem at 7:30 to 8 Bali time, 8 a.m. Bali time. We look forward to hearing from you, and we do need your confirmation for this agenda. Thank you. We wish that all of you had a pleasant and memorable moment during your stay in Bali. Thank you for your presence and participation, and have a safe flight, and see you in Yogyakarta. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, distinguished guests, we would like to have our next agenda that will be a handed over ceremony from government and religious leaders of Indonesia to government and religious leaders of India, which will be a host for the G20 Religion Forum in 2023. For this purpose, we would like to invite Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf, General Chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama Center Board, to come up on the stage. And also, representative of India will be Honorable Mr. Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi, founding members of the Governing Council of India. Please, we would like to invite you to come up on the stage here. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to witness the handover ceremony of G20 Religion Forum, or Religion 20 or R20, from Indonesia to India as the new and the next host of R20 in 2023. And we are inviting all religious leaders from India to join to the stage with Mr. Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi to have a procession of handover ceremony. And from our government, we would like to invite Mr. Muhsin Sihab, the ambassador of Bapak Yahya Khalil Stakuf will hand over the flag or banner of R20 to Mr. Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi, followed by a handover of the plate. This is really a great moment for us to witness a handover of the G20 Religion Forum from Indonesia to India. And now, we proceed to the next procession. Bapak Yahya Khalil Stakuf. Yeah. Would present a plate of R20 to Mr. Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi. Yeah, this procession symbolizes that R20 is expected to stimulate continuous dialogue between religious groups or religious leaders. There will be one more handing over. The plate will be handed over from Bapak Yahya Khalil Stakuf to the representative of India, Honorable Mr. Sri Ram Madhav Varanasi. Yes, this symbolizes of continuous bond of the R20 event in the future. We will also invite Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf to present his closing remarks. Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf, mohon untuk menyampaikan sambutan penutup pada akhir dari sesi ini. Kami persilakan Pak Kiai menyampaikan pidato atau sambutan penutupnya. Okay, there will be several photo session. Yeah. For all audience, distinguished guests, may we have your attention, please? Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this forum is hoped that the result of the forum will reveal ways to overcome this religious problem, because religious problems often occur not only between religious people but also within one religious community. Yeah. May we have your attention, please? Please be seated, because we still have closing remarks from the chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama Center Board. We still have closing remarks. We would like to request you to return to your seat. And please welcome Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf for the closing remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers and participants, this is a very touching moment. I could not barely find the proper words to express my utmost appreciation and gratitude to all and every one of you for coming and participating in this event, for answering our call, and for your shared commitment with us to continue working together to pursue the ideals that we all already shared and consented in these 2 days discussion. But let me begin by conveying the greetings, the salam, with apology from His Excellency General Secretary of Muslim World League, Dr. Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Isa, who has to leave early this afternoon, because he is tied to another schedule that he cannot abandon. So he sent his greetings for all of you. Assalamu alaikum. Secondly, I have to express also our gratitude on behalf of Nahdlatul Ulama to the government of the Republic of Indonesia, to His Excellency President Joko Widodo, for the support that is given to us to have this event. The government of the Republic of Indonesia has been mobilizing all resources that we need to have this event going in a best manner that it can be, and also give the full support of all officials that the government can provide for us to help us develop and manage this event from the beginning to the end, including having some very important officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be embedded into the committee of this event. I would like to introduce to you one of them, His Excellency Mr. Mohsin Shihab here, please rise, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's been helping us all along to guarantee and secure the success of this event. And then, of course, I would like to repeat my expression of gratitude and appreciation to all and every one of you, distinguished speakers and participants. This is the beginning of the manifestation of a long, long time struggle that we've been doing from within Nahdlatul Ulama, and then from time to time reaching out, find friends, partners, and allies all over the world to have a global movement for the ideals of how religion can constructively and positively contribute to the betterment of human condition and toward a better future of humanity and human civilization. We make universal call and we engage whoever answer. And you have answered our call. So here we are, having this event together, reaching a shared vision. And to this point, I believe that we all agree to have this R20 not just one-off event, but to develop this as a global movement. Like I mentioned in my opening remarks yesterday, this initiative comes from a sincere, good and spiritual will. And we call to all people of goodwill from every faith and nation to join this endeavor together with us. Again, thank you very much for your participations and contributions. And may Allah Almighty God will always be with us through our journey together forward. That we may not know where it will end and how it will end, but we know that we are all be measured by what we do. And hopefully, and all we have is a hope, a deep spiritual hope, that all our efforts, what we do, will truly, truly make a noble contribution for humanity and human civilization. Thank you. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thariq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We would kindly request Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Holistakuf to strike the hammer to mark the end of the series of events this evening.
Sorry, they didn't tell me about this procedure. So to mark the end of this event, here is the knocking to the door of God for His help.
Yes, with the knocking of the hammer, now the great event has now concluded. Yeah, and we would like to invite all delegates to join to the stage to have photo session, a photo group with Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf. Hopefully the result of G20 Religion Forum will be an inspiration and give strong motivation for interfaith life globally on how the efforts of these religious leaders to make religion stop being a part of the problem and start being part of the solution to the various global problems. In the meantime, let us continue to recover together, recover stronger. Please give a big round of applause for R20 G20 Religion Forum 2022 from 2 to 3 November 2022, revealing and nurturing religion as a source of global solutions. Grand Hyatt Bali, 2 and 3 November 2023. Please have a formation according the steps on the stage, because we have quite a lot of people, a lot of members of photo groups here. So it is a great moment, a great memorable moment. For our female participants, we would like, it is our pleasure, it's an honor for us to invite you to join the photo session, photo group together. All of us could be gathered in this photo session.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, on the main camera. 3, 2, 1. Okay, again. 3, 2, 1. One more time. One more time. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody say R20. R20.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you all to prepare for our farewell dinner that will be held at Taman Begawan Nusa Dua. Please gather at the lobby area at 6:30 p.m. Bali time at the lobby of Grand Hyatt Hotel Nusa Dua Bali, and afterwards before we leave this area, press conference will be held at the foyer area of this ballroom. We'll present Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf as our speaker. Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf mohon menuju ke foyer untuk memimpin press conference yang akan bertempat di area foyer dari ballroom ini. See you next year. See you in India in 2023. God bless you. Namaste. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in India. Acha, acha. Acha, acha. Acha, Nehi, acha. Thank you. We kindly invite you to join our farewell dinner that will be held at Taman Begawan Nusa Dua. Please gather at 6:30 at lobby of the Grand Hyatt Hotel. Thank you. See you there. See you at Taman Begawan. Oh yeah. May we have your attention, please? So we would like to remind you to return your interpreting system devices to the table, to the organizing committee. Yeah. Do not forget to return the interpreting system devices to the organizing committee officer. 6:30 should be at the lobby. Yeah. Another memorable place. Thank you. Merci. Merci beaucoup. Bon voyage. Have a safe and pleasant flight to your home country. See you next year. Bye-bye. Mohon kepada Bapak Kiai Haji Yahya Khalil Stakuf, the General Chairman of Nahdlatul Ulama Center Board, to lead the press conference that will be held at the foyer of this ballroom right after this closing ceremony. And then we are going to gather at the lobby of the hotel at 6:30 p.m. Bali time to prepare to have a farewell dinner, another memorable moment at the end of our event. Thank you.